Hi everyone, my name is Kate Rero. I'm a mental health advocate, and today I will be your host on today's episode and the rest of this season as we shall be talking about relationships. And it's such a privilege to be here today with a therapist from Good News Mental Space. And maybe you can introduce yourself before, yeah.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for having me. I'll be glad to be co-hosting this season with Kate Herrero, and as we talk more about relationships and grace as the previous seasons. Yeah.
Wow, so as this season we shall be talking about relationships. The minute like people bring up this topic about relationship, we immediately turn to intimate relationship. But there is more to relationship than just intimate relationship. So maybe you can give us a clear picture of what kind of relationship we shall be talking about during this season.
Yeah, so it will be a very long season, and most times we think relationship is all about boy-girl relationships, but relationship is it's diverse. There's friendship relationships, there's parent-child relationship, there's both employee relationships, there's all kinds of relationships. But I think we will be able to touch on different relationships and also how each relationship affects our daily lives, affects our personality, our identity, and also how grace helps us have better relationships.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And as we are also integrating grace and relationships, we are all relational creatures.
Yes.
No one on this earth can exist alone. We need each other, we need to rely on each other. So what is your understanding of a relationship?
So relationships are basically the ability to coexist. So relationships can also be an environment. It's just the ability to coexist with other people. And yeah, I think that's the best definition I can actually give. You can coexist with your parents, coexisting with either your partner, coexisting with friends, coexisting with family, coexisting with colleagues, friends, etc. So basically the ability or the coexistence of other people,
Yeah, and as you're using the word coexisting with other people, in my head I'm thinking there are some people who cannot even coexist with themselves. And I think this is one of the things that affects how we coexist with other people. So what are some of the other things that affect how we coexist with other people?
I think it's really important, even as we talk about relationship, we know where it actually starts from. Before you even tell yourself that I can't coexist with myself, it comes from somewhere. So everyone has been born into a family, right? So the first person you actually interact with, they're the ones who actually end up defining how you coexist with everyone and yourself. So somebody who can't coexist with themselves or with others, it tells me a lot about where they've come from. As we started before, I mentioned that relationships are also environments. You can be in a relationship, we've had toxic relationship, we've had healthy relationship and healthy relationship. So we've seen how, or have had how toxic relationships have affected somebody. So when you are born into a relationship, whether with a mother or a guardian or a father, depending on where you've come from. So how you're able to actually interact with the first people who you actually meet or know for the first time actually determine how you'll be able to coexist with everybody else. So if somebody can coexist with other people, it could actually tell me a lot about where they've come from. And I think that's where relationships start.
Wow. So after maybe knowing someone's past, because you as therapist, I think the first thing you establish when you have a client is to establish their past. Where are these things coming from? So after you know this person's past, how do you now integrate grace to bring this person Because you know, you can do a lot of scientific things, you can talk to this person, you can try and understand them, but how now do you bring in grace? Because I understand Good News Mental Space is focused on grace healing more than anything. So how do you now integrate grace to help this person understand, by the way, this is what I went through, and this is why it's affecting myself and how I relate with myself, and therefore affecting how I relate with others?
Yeah, so basically, grace comes in as a feeling, as a filler, you know, for the reason why maybe somebody is not able to coexist with other people.
Yeah.
So grace comes in to bring in healing. Grace comes in to help somebody find a sense of stability, you know. So now, in case at first, before we actually introduce grace, grace is now the mechanism that we use to help somebody find a sense of security if they're struggling with abandonment issues, struggling with insecurity. Grace is the one that brings in the thing that was never supplied to help somebody have that stability that they needed. So, but first we need to identify, first we need to use the mechanisms to know why are you acting the way you are.
Yeah.
So that's when we actually tend to go to their past and know where you've been born, because they're normally like stages in technology. They're stages of human development or child development.
Yeah.
So the first stage where somebody, child develops trust, you know, it's like a process, you know. So if the person has not been able like to actually go through those stages where they've developed trust, where they've been able to overcome shame and all those things, that's the time now we are able now to now see, okay, you're lacking security, you're feeling abandoned, you're feeling a sense of shame, you're feeling insecure, so that's why you may not want to interact with other people. Then now we bring a sense of grace. Grace now helps you know and gives you that security that you're not alone. You are never alone, you know. It helps you know that just because your parent or the first people who raised you, even if they treated you in a way they never even knew they actually were hurting you, you don't have to live like that. You know, you have somebody who is like a parent to you, who can take care of you and give you security, and it's never too late to actually feel secure and to be free from the sense of abandonment. You know.
Wow. And one of the things I've come to understand about grace as I've been interacting with you is the ability to show yourself mercy and be easy on yourself. And I think as we are growing up and becoming adults, we get so caught up, whether knowingly or unknowingly, we get caught up in ourselves, like our inabilities, our iniquities, our weaknesses. We get so caught up in that that we forget there are other people who actually care about us, other people who actually want to see the best in us. So I think bringing the aspect of grace in a relationship is something really good. If only we can get people who will help us understand, even like you therapists, when you integrate grace and in relationships and in your therapeutical methods and mechanisms to help people. I think that's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's true. Like I think one of the things that grace really helps in relationships is being able to, first of all, it helps you know that you're not perfect. Accept that you're not perfect. One of the things people go through a lot is self-criticism. If you're too hard on yourself to the point that you are not allowing yourself to be perfect. Like God never created you to be perfect. He created you to have both sides of imperfection and a part of you that's actually pretty good. So being able to accept and love yourself that you're not perfect is actually a sense of grace, because grace helps you embrace yourself in your imperfection, so that now you can be able like to show the same grace to other people. People who are too critical on themselves, they really struggle with relationship because they are forcing perfection from other people, and then if they don't see the perfection they think people should be or how they've been inflicted to be, they tend to break up relationships, but not extend that grace that this person is not perfect, I'm also not perfect, so when I fail, I forgive myself, I'm kind to myself. When they fail, I forgive them, I'm kind to them. And then you see like relationships are able to like stay together. And you know, but if somebody is too critical to themselves, depending on where they've been raised, or their relationships, the first experience where there was high standards placed on themselves. There was a lot of criticism. These voices might actually carry forward when they're grown. And then you find somebody is kind of perfectionist, they want they really struggle with relationships. But now grace helps you know that you were never created to be perfect. You're imperfect, and then you have strengths, you have weaknesses, and it's part of human experience, and it's okay to not be good in everything. That's why we seek to have relationships, people who are stronger in things that we are not, and we accept that help.
Wow. And I'm realizing as you're speaking that most of the time we want to project who we are on other people. So, and I'm wondering, I think we shall expound on this as the season is, progressing. Like, if a child is not able to develop trust when they are little, how does that affect their relationships and I think these are some of the questions that we shall be answering as we are progressing. Like, because you said there are many stages in human development, and at each development is that thing that a child carries on. It's either guilt, shame, insecurity, or lack of trust, or negligence. So how does insecurity affect this child when they are grown-ups and they are now maybe venturing in relationships, be it work, be it them as a parent? How does this affect them?
So I think for the stages of growth, I think we'll talk about in the next episode when you're talking about parent-child relationship. So we intend to understand the different stages. But now, a lack of trust means involvement of insecurity. So basically, an insecure person is a person who definitely wants to be in control. Somebody who wants to control people, so that, and then they struggle with that with great fear. Insecurity comes with deep fear of being left, fear of loss, fear of being left alone. A lot of insecurity really affects a lot of people. So now, if you're struggling with insecurity, you'll definitely struggle with relationships, because you can struggle to even be alone, to care for yourself, to have your own space and everything, because you're scared. You're just scared of being alone, because you knew what it meant to actually be alone when you were young, sometimes even unlovingly. So basically, a person who has mistrust issues, most of the times it actually comes from the inability they had with forming trust with their parents. And most of the times, funny enough, when a parent is emotionally unavailable, or if they themselves never experienced emotional support, love, care, that emotional closeness, most of the times they can't give what they don't have. So the child tends to experience a very unemotional, or they are not able to find an attachment with their parents, so they don't form trust, they don't feel secure, and they struggle with neglect, emotional neglect and abandonment. So obviously, a person who's struggling with abandonment issue will definitely have issues in their friendships. They'll feel great insecurity. Sometimes it could start even with physical insecurity. They would feel that they're not physically attractive compared to everyone else. They're always lesser than everybody else. And most of the times it's not necessarily themselves, but it's because they were never able to form that trust. So they couldn't form the trust with their parents, so they couldn't trust that they look at, they look better, or they're uniquely beautiful, or they even, they'll just struggle in relationships all in all,
Wow. I feel as we are winding up, I must say this, that this is a very beautiful topic that you have taken on. So if at all you are a human being, and you're living on planet Earth, you really need this to hear the whole of this season, what we shall be talking about, because unless we address it, unless we talk about it, we shall be passing on patterns. We don't know what we are suffering, so we extend that suffering to the people who are around us, or the people who will be in our care. So if you are looking to maybe understand more about relationship, understand more about maybe whatever maybe you're struggling with right now, where is the root of it? I think it's a very beautiful topic. And to top it all up, we shall be, integrating grace.
Now fit
You
in,
know?
they need the healing part. Now
Yeah.
where hope comes in,
Uh-huh.
how you can actually get better, and it's never the end, it's not
Yeah.
your fault. So meaning that there is hope for you to
Mm.
actually get better and become a trustworthy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because relationships are beautiful.
Yeah.
They are beautiful, they make
Yeah.
us flourish.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was not for that one person you met at a certain point in your life, maybe there are so many things they helped you in.
Yeah.
There are so many ways they impacted your life
Yeah.
and contributed to the person you are today.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be your boyfriend, it doesn't have to be your mother.
Yeah.
It can also be people you meet every day. So are you able to coexist within yourself? Are you able to show yourself mercy? Are you able to be easy on yourself?
Yeah.
Because if you can be gracious to yourself, you can be gracious to other people.
Yes,
Yeah, so what do you have to tell them, as we wind up?
I'm really excited for this new season. It's a new year, it's 2024, and and I think maybe this year we actually, so many of us are looking forward for better relationships, growth, networking, and I feel like this season can be such a use to so many of you.
Wow.
So I'm really excited for this run.
Yeah. And thank you so much for choosing me to be the host of this season. It's really an honor and a privilege. I'm really excited because I love talking about relationships. I love anything to do with relationships. I think I am a pro-love person. So thank you so much, and thank you for all those that have tuned in for today's show. We hope to give you more. Call a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend that there is something going on, something good going on in Good News Mental Space Media. Remember to subscribe, remember to like and to share the videos to all your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp. We want you to benefit from this, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much and have a lovely
Thank you so much for tuning in. Video bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye. See you next time.